right, man. Welcome everybody to the Dumb Ass Film Students podcast. My name is Rudy Wilson. I am one of your hosts. Joined here by my brother and friend, Mr. Daryl D.A. Henry. How you doing, sir?
How's it going?
That's your brother, or that's a black thing?
Jesus Christ. Well, I was gonna call you my brother too, but I guess since you made it a race war.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
All right. Well, my enemy.
I have a brother. He lives in Ohio.
Well, my enemy and foe, another person joining us today. Not sure if he's going to be hosting continuously anymore since he's a racist, but he'll definitely be around. He'll definitely be around pretty often. Y'all, welcome my brother Chris Golden. How you doing, man?
Now, what did I tell you about that brother shit? Nah, I'm just playing.
You're right.
What's up, everybody?
White power. All right. So, like I said, man, this is the Dumbass Film Students podcast where we basically are, some of us film students, some of us just very opinionated people when it comes down to film. And not just, hey, what's your favorite movie, Friday or next Friday, but more or less of digging deep into story structure, digging deep into themes, digging deep into, your style of movie making, the style that you like, that you grew up on, whatever the case may be. We're just going to dig deep and just go into a lot of different topics and, have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? The three of us, we definitely come from similar but also different backgrounds when it comes down to cinema. You know what I'm saying? We all grew up watching different films and stuff like that. And we actually can start out talking about that. DA, like, what was your, background when it comes down to, like, you grew up, like, watching movies? Like, what was the type of movie that you always grew up watching?
Well, I was around my grandparents most of the time, so I was watching a lot of classics. Like, they made me watch Singing in the Rain, one of my favorite movies. Chicago, they put me onto Chicago. It's a musical. Wow, it's actually.
Can I ask you something?
What's that?
What is Singing in the Rain? Is that an entire film? I've only seen the part in the beginning when he's legit singing in the rain. Like, what's the point of that movie?
Wait,
I feel like he said everything he had to say with the song. So it's just like, what was the film after that? Did he just continue singing in the rain? I mean, I feel like that would get old.
Well, that's a good question. I mean, it is an entire movie, obviously, but
Like, what's the story? Like, what's up with this guy? Why does he like the rain so much?
Yeah, he's thinking about it. He's like, that nigga sang in the rain 95% of the movie.
I don't think
Not think about it. It's just a long music video.
I don't think it's about a guy just singing in the rain. I think it's about this guy's journey in Hollywood, and he meets this girl. It's kind of like a love story, really, in my opinion.
Does she end up singing with him in the rain?
They do sing in the rain. They all sing in the rain. It's
I
about
could have made this fucking movie. Come on. What are we
three
doing here?
characters, and they one of the famous songs from the movie is "Good Morning."
That's back when there was like 8 movies. Of course, he walks into an office like, hey, I got this guy. He's going to be singing in the fucking rain. They're like, what? In the rain? Yo, you're nuts, man. This is crazier than that train track movie with the lady, with the broad. Oh, man, this guy's a genius.
Hey, Chris, real quick. Can you turn your phone sideways?
There you go. Sideways.
All right. Gives it a more fuller look. Thank you, sir. I'm sorry.
Cool.
Go ahead, DA. What's your movie background?
So yeah, a lot of classics. My grandfather put me onto a lot of westerns, and then mostly Disney movies. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Right.
What's your favorite? What's like your top 3 Disney movies?
I definitely got to go with Milan.
Wow.
Shit.
Okay.
You got to also say Lion King.
Of course.
That was it. And then, honestly, those are my 2. I don't have 3 favorites because another movie I watched as a kid was, I think it's called Little Giant or
Little Giant.
The Iron Giant.
That's Warner Brothers.
The Iron Giant.
Sorry. Oh, the Iron Giant.
It's a great movie. Love that movie.
That would have to be one of my favorite movies. And also this movie, It's owned by Disney now because they just bought 20th Century Fox, but it's called Anastasia.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anastasia. Yeah.
Anastasia Ben was a Disney movie. I never knew it wasn't.
It was I believe it is a 20th Century Fox movie.
No, Anastasia fire.
Yes.
For sure.
My favorite Disney movies: Mighty Ducks 3.
Well, before you get to your favorite Disney movie, just give us your whole rundown, of like movies you grew up on, and then you can also throw in your Disney favorites too.
That was just a joke, anyways. I don't know where I was going with that, but go ahead. I said Mighty Ducks 3. Like I don't even know. I've never even seen that.
No, I know.
Mighty Ducks 3.
Yeah, I think it was in 3D.
I actually watched the first one. Recently.
Like Spy
I don't
Kids
remember.
3D. It was so special.
Yeah, it was like, Sylvester Stallone was in that, wasn't he? Talking about Corinthian leather.
I don't know.
It was a bad movie. Anyways, I'm sorry. Continue with your movies you grew up on.
Oh, that's pretty much it for me.
No, it was on you, Chris.
Okay. Oh, he was on me. My fault. Well, like movie background, man. Like my mom, like she had this like obsessive compulsive thing where she used to like tape movies all the time. Like she had hella blank VHS tapes that she would tape hella movies on. We had all the movie networks. And when you go into my dining room, literally there were shelves upon shelves upon shelves of fucking VHS tapes. Each one of them has 4 movies on it. So I've seen every fucking movie, bro. My mom had every movie, bro. And like movies I grew up on was just everything, bro. Speed. I love that movie with Keanu Reeves. That was like I used to love watching that movie. I don't know why. That was one of my favorite action movies. Fucking American Psycho. I was watching shit I wasn't supposed to be watching. Like my mom was just like, she was mad chill when it came to movies and shit. I seen every horror movie ever, like Friday the 13th. I've seen all those shits. I love those shits. I was a big fan of that. Every fucking Nightmare on Elm Street.
I was looking up.
I would just say everything, man. Like just all movies, man. Favorites though would be like standouts would definitely be Speed was one of my standouts. I love Toy Story. Fucking Toy Story was the shit.
Classic.
As far as we were talking about Disney movies, like in general, I just loved I loved The Lion King, especially was like one I watched a lot growing up. There was even some fucking shitty Disney movies that I liked, like fucking Homeward Bound 2.
Oh yeah.
Just Homeward Bound was like that was a guilty pleasure for me.
I wouldn't consider it shitty. I think it's a dope movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it in so long that I just don't want to like hold it in a high regard. I feel like if I pop it on now, I'd probably do some shit.
It might be trash now.
I mean, dogs with voiceovers. I mean, we're a little grown for that. Fucking 100 Good Deeds for Eddie McDowell. That was a horrible show. You remember that show? They didn't even make it to 100 deeds. He did like 10 deeds. They were like, look, they're not liking the show. You're just going to stay a dog. He's still a dog. That guy's still a dog.
They're just like, nah,
he never got switched back.
We're done at 35. We're good.
It's like you got to do the 100 deeds, but you didn't read your contract. You got to keep the ratings up too, or you're a dog, right?
Maybe that
he didn't read the fine print. He's like, damn, I got to be entertaining too while I get the deeds done.
Hey, no, you only get paid if you make it to the 100 Ds. Like you got to make it 100 episodes.
Or else, how are we gonna pay you? Dogs. What are you gonna do? Buy your own dog food? They're not gonna let you do the
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's funny as shit. All right, but go ahead. Yeah, your movies you grew up on.
Well, this is what I was going to ask you before I give mine. Do you, and I'm not saying this to be funny, but do you think, because DA mentioned that he grew up with his grandparents, you were raised by, even though as a black male you're mixed, but you were raised by your white mother and and even her husband or whatever situation. Like, so
my stepdad was white too.
Yeah, so you pretty much grew up in like a white family almost. So how much influence do you think that had on like your like as far as what type of movies you watch and stuff like that, and grew up to love and stuff like that?
My mom, she definitely had like the classics, like the, you know, the Menace to Society and Sugar Hill and movies like that, like crime. My mom was into crime shit. Like she liked Sopranos, shit like that. So I definitely watched a good amount of black films coming up. But as far as like the super obscure black films, like I definitely never saw fucking what was it? Paper Soldiers. I never saw that till way later. Like it's certain films that I definitely missed being in a white household. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, I didn't
like
see
if it's not ingrained in the culture, like I'm saying, if it's not like something that's like widely known as a black film, like Boys in the Hood or something like that, I probably didn't see it until like later on. You know?
Right. No, that's real. I was gonna say I didn't see Paper Soldiers till I was grown either. Until I started doing comedy actually. So
yeah.
But so for me, I mean, I definitely grew up on a lot of black films, but not necessarily like hood classics per se. I mean, I did, but so even just mainly something with like a black lead. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was like Rush Hour. You know what I'm saying?
Or Radio or some shit.
But radio was out when I was much older. But I'm saying like of course it would be like, you know, just say your Fridays or your Boys in the Hoods or whatever. But then it would also be even just like an all black cast, like a, you know, Best Man or The Wood. But then, like I said, it could just be something with a mixed cast, but just the lead be black. You know what I'm saying? And then I did like a lot of just say non-black movies that I've seen were mainly like kids movies. Like, you know, my dad used to put us on like some old movies. And those are movies that I thought came out when I was younger, and I didn't realize they were older until I got older. But I seen like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Mary Poppins, Rockadoodle. I don't know if y'all know about Rockadoodle. That's old. I
don't know about no Rockadoodle.
You know about Rockadoodle, DA?
I don't know about that.
It's a cartoon. It's on one of these streaming services. I have to look it up and let y'all know. But
one of them.
It's on Disney Plus or something. It's on it right now. But it's like an hour. It's like an hour and some change. It's not even that long of a film. It's a cartoon, and basically, it's a rooster that's on a farm, and he sings in the cartoon, but that's his way of like crowing. And like every morning he crows, like the sun comes out, everybody on the farm is happy, whatever like that. And then this owl that hates the light, he's like the antagonist. He sends like this person to fight the protagonist. Like,
is this an animated film?
Huh?
This is an animated film?
Yeah, it's a cartoon. It's old.
And this is a black cartoon.
No. This is no. That's what I'm saying. This is animals. It's a bunch of animals.
Oh, I was gonna say like, are all the animals like black voiced by black actors? That would have been dope.
But even the actors were white. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was naming like white movies that I've seen that I kind of like grew up on. But he basically sends somebody to distract him right before the sun comes up. So when the sun comes up without him singing, all the animals like, oh man, this nigga a fraud. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, man, fuck this, you know, whatever. Like, we not, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't whatever. So
I don't mean to cut you off, but when you said it was like, I was thinking a black film in my head. So I just had this funny image of just like a bunch of cows out in the fields singing like Negro spirituals. Like, like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I thought that was funny.
No, you good. You good. I was switching over my Wi-Fi, so I didn't even hear what you said, honestly.
Oh no, I said when you said it was like I was thinking, yeah, I was like, damn, that joke bombed. But I was like, fucking no. When you said it was like you were talking about black films, and then you started talking about this, I was thinking it was like a black cartoon in my head. I just had this image of just like cows out in the field singing like Negro spirituals, like.
Oh yeah,
like, boy, it's hot today. I don't know. That's just where my mind went.
No, that's funny. No. Yeah, so basically, the owl basically kind of tries to take over the farm, and then all of this little boy has a dream. He turns into a cat, goes into the cartoon, and basically they go on a journey to find the rooster and bring him back so he can crow, so the sun can come back out type job. But the catch about the whole rooster, his whole image was of like Elvis, like his little the thing on his head was like the Elvis hair, you know what I'm saying? Like, and even when he went, like he left the farm and went to the city, when he was performing, they never called him Elvis, but they always called him the King. You know what I'm saying? He like all his songs sung just like Elvis. So it was like a whole like it was a thing.
So he's basically Elvis.
Huh?
I said so he's basically Elvis.
Yeah, he was basically Elvis, right? Elvis was waking up. Elvis was singing the sun up. So yeah, so as far as like non-black movies, I would say I was more or less on that type.
You're back?
Yeah, it's a whole thing on my situation over here.
Connectivity issue over there.
Well, yeah, because I'm, it's a thing. I'll explain it later. But either way, so what I was saying was that y'all have different, like y'all.
Nah. Explain it on the air right
now. We want to hear this shit. We tired of it.
Right.
No, so
go ahead though.
So y'all both are in different positions when it comes down to like filmmaking as of right now. Like, but Chris, like I said, me and you, we talk a lot even about like stuff that I be working on. I bounce a lot of ideas off of you. You've even given me ideas. Definitely don't mention them on here. But just starting with, we can start with you first, Chris, this time, and then go to Daryl. But I guess just like kind of just explain like where your whole outlook as far as like getting deeper into looking at film and filmmaking, like where did that come from? Like not just sitting back watching the movie because of the celebrity that's in it, but you're actually looking at it, you're following the story, you know what I'm saying? You're putting it all together like
well, if you go back in time to like say 05, 06,
mm-hmm.
You look at my page on Black Planet, you will see on my profile, I put that I wanted to be a director, and I was serious about that. Like at one point, I actually wanted to make film, so that kind of forced me to look at films differently. Like just kind of focus more on like what type of shot is going on right now. Right. This movie's using a lot of close-ups, or like, hey, I like how in this movie, like. One of the first movies where I really paid attention to shots was I saw Children of Men when that first came out with Clive Owen. I don't know if y'all ever seen that. It's an excellent film.
Yeah.
Excellent film. I think it's probably still on Netflix. But that movie had a lot of handheld camera that they used in it, and he used it really effectively, especially in like the scenes where a lot of crazy shit's going on. Like even blood will like splatter on the camera, and he'll use really long takes. Like he had this one scene that was like 18 minutes long, no cuts, straight handheld behind the character as he's running through the city. And I just thought that was really fucking dope. And that was one of the first times when I started noticing like, okay, every director kind of has their own thing. And then, certain films have different techniques they use to fit the tone. And all that shit was just real fascinating to me. And I just really was like, yo, I want to get into this. Like, I want to make film. Then I got arrested and,
my life became a movie. It got all fucked up. Like,
yeah, I was starring in a film. I didn't realize.
And it's funny, like somebody's actually shooting your life because it's probably clips on you on YouTube somewhere getting like slammed against the police car.
Like Truman Show type shit going on. I'm not aware.
All the times you falling off of a skateboard or a scooter, somebody definitely has that on camera. For sure.
Oh, probably. Yeah. There's a compilation somewhere.
Yeah, every other day I would see this man. He would show up with new scars. I'm like, what happened? That's off a skateboard.
Just randomly.
Yo, it gets to a point where you get too old for that shit, bro. I'm there, man. And I was in denial for a long time.
Bro, you literally broke a beer bottle and had glass.
Inside of my hand, yeah. I was skating with a beer, and I hit one of those little yellow bumpy things, and I just wasn't hitting it at the right speed. Like you want to be fast enough to just go right over it, and I wasn't that fast. So it just my board stayed, and I was evicted. I was into the street with me. Get out of here. Take your beer with you. And I had my beer with me. It was in my hand and just landed bam, the beer shattered like into my hand. Like,
But
You
this
should
is
have finished the beer
glass
while you
just
were flying in the air. You should have finished the beer while you were flying in the air.
I'm not that badass. If I was like Chuck Norris or something, I would have. Yeah.
Like I still got my beer though.
It would have been like a beer commercial, like nothing between me and my course, like something like that. I'm just not that cool. I'm just not cool like that.
Strong, you can't feel shit.
Hey,
It resulted in a hospital visit.
But this is the real question: is the glass still in your hand?
You know, that's a good question.
I don't even know.
He never got it taken out.
Like if you look, like right here, you can't really see on the camera. This is where the glass entered, and it still looks like there's still lines there. It's still purple there. Like,
Oh my god!
it might still be in there. I don't know.
You didn't go to the hospital with the doctor?
I went to the hospital, but I didn't have insurance, so they gave me a Band-Aid and a really expensive bill for that Band-Aid. So,
oh my gosh!
I was given $1,000 Band-Aid instead, and I was like, "Yo, this Band-Aid is probably ill. It's gonna fix everything."
It's like, hey, you can keep the glass. We don't want it.
I was like, "Aren't you gonna take the glass out?" They're like, "No, we're good. We're good. We're fine. You're okay."
Hey, you were technically 25 cents short for this Band-Aid. We gave
Like, you should be lucky.
We looked out.
Speaking of Band-Aids, I think one of the greatest movies of all time is John Q. I don't know if
yeah, absolutely.
Yo, that's hilarious. Because weren't we just talking about John Q? You want to hear a fun fact about John Q, Mr. Darryl? I agree with you. That was another movie my mom had on VHS. She actually had the actual VHS with fucking Denzel on the cover looking all intense.
Wait, time out fast. Can we just acknowledge the fact that Chris's mom was basically bootlegging on VHS?
Hey, and he's talking about it like it's normal. He's just like,
it's normal. I've never
She
heard
had the actual one. She had the real thing.
She's printing out the labels and shit, putting on the box.
Special tab.
It wasn't real. It wasn't real. It was just another copy that she was selling. It was the copy she kept.
She gets mad at it not in alphabetical order.
Oh yeah, she did. She definitely had a method to the madness.
Yeah.
Nah, but fuck it. I was gonna say John Q. I love that movie. I watched that movie mad times as a kid. That movie's dope as fuck.
Right.
And what's up with his wife for that movie? Why every movie she's in, she's always like either crying or about to cry. She's always like, she's always like clutching the Bible. Now, if I wasn't a Christian woman, I would be crying so hard right now.
I hate casting because she definitely did the same thing in Diary of
Every movie. She's just trembling and about to cry.
For Color Girls.
Woman, thou art loosed. Nigga, she was crying the whole film.
Why are you saying that? Why are you saying
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm actually low-key surprised you've seen that movie, Chris. Like, that's funny. Like, that's definitely like a black film.
Oh yeah, that's a black film for real.
Especially because T.D. Jakes made it, and though T.D. Jakes is famous, but he's mainly well known by black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's not like white people ain't just going to the box office flooding T.D. Jakes like that. So that was pretty surprising. That's funny that you're
racist now.
Yeah, right. But no.
But what you say about John Q though?
But to arrive at my point, that a great film, right? I look on Rotten Tomatoes. John Q has a 17% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
What the hell?
Apparently, critics hated that movie. I don't know why. It makes no sense to me. It was a great movie. It's shining all this light on the healthcare system and how fucked up it is. And it's like a star-studded cast. Okay, well, Eddie Griffin. But, you know.
Look at.
Fucking James Woods was in that film, man. That was a good movie, bro.
It had all three qualifications for a great movie. It was entertaining. Denzel Washington blew my mind with his performance.
Fucking his performance was out of this world, man. I thought they really got his son. Like, they got my son in there.
He's like, I'm not going to bury my son.
My son is going to bury me.
Exactly.
Calm down. We're gonna do
My
this
son's
unauthorized
gonna
surgery.
live.
We're gonna. We got
This man
do
was
that now. Shoot me in the head and put my heart in his.
so it was entertaining. It was
I don't think that
informative.
surgery was even gonna work. They were just like, look, we gotta kill this guy, or he's not gonna stop yelling.
Man,
It was a plan the whole time. And they like, yo, shut this nigga up, man. Kill this nigga, man. We're ready to go back to work.
The shooter's basically giving himself up. Like, come on.
Oh my God.
but it was
That's
informative.
so funny.
It was informative. Like you said,
Right.
it informed us about the healthcare system and all the flaws that it
The
had.
movie had something to say. It wasn't just entertainment. Like that was a great movie. Like that blew my mind when I saw that Rotten Tomatoes score. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
Like that doesn't make any sense.
Right. The movie.
That's disrespectful to Denzel Washington all by itself. I mean, because especially back then, like he was younger back. I mean, he was in his bag back then. Like he was making.
Yeah,
he was
man. That was
then.
before Man on Fire when he became like all like grizzly and shit. Like he was young. He looked young in that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question though. I have a question.
What?
Did you get did your parents or the female part of your families, did they fall at Denzel's feet like my family did? Because my grandma,
they were white. That's forbidden.
You said they were white?
That's forbidden. You know.
That's forbidden.
I'm not trying to shame dad. Come on, man.
They
Maybe in their bedroom.
They were on Leonardo DiCaprio in his house.
Yeah.
Brad
It was
Pitt.
all. Yeah.
Wait.
It was straight.
Leo is one of the all-time.
Nigga, Leonardo DiCaprio. Yes, my sister had a huge crush on Leonardo DiCaprio. He was on that show Growing Pains.
Right.
As this emotionally scarred, like homeless kid. You guys remember that? You guys remember Growing Pains, right?
I remember Growing Pains.
I don't
remember
watch
him.
it, but I know.
Leonardo DiCaprio, the first time I ever seen him acting, it might have been one of his first roles. He was on Growing Pains. He had a guest starring role as like this kid who was homeless and like he was eating out of the garbage and shit, and fucking his dad was an alcoholic, and they brought him in. And it was a great acting performance. Like you know that moment from Fresh Prince that, why you don't want me, Uncle Phil?
Right.
His face ass. The nigga had a moment like that on the show where fucking like they were like, honey, did you see my wine? Yeah, the wine we use for cooking. And he was like, yeah, I poured it down the drain. Every last goddamn drop of it. Because like his dad was like alcoholic. He like starts crying. I'm like, oh shit. This guy's really swinging for the fences with this performance right now. Like Leo knew he was gonna be the shit. He's like, nigga, I'm about to kill this shit. There's no crying scene. Let me rewrite this.
The sad thing is he never got an Oscar until he got mauled by a bear.
You gotta do some things. Hollywood wants to
in a movie.
Yeah, The Revenant. Remember?
You never seen The Revenant?
No.
How do you not see The Revenant?
I'm not on Leonardo DiCaprio like that. I mean, I knew it came out.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't see The Revenant either, man.
What?
Bro, I that was the purpose of me starting off with talking about what type of movies we grew up on. Like, if I ever see The Revenant, it's gonna be because like I just happened to see it. Like, I definitely was not going out of my way. Nothing against it. Like, don't get me wrong. Titanic is one of my favorite movies. You know what I'm saying? Like of all time, and I definitely love Leonardo's performance in that. And I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I loved him in Django. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought he killed it. There's nothing against him. All I'm saying is,
okay, you gotta watch the movie. It's pretty much about this guy trying to go get revenge.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't understand. Why is he wrestling a bear? Like, how did that happen?
Well,
is he getting revenge on the bear?
No. He was out looking for.
The bear killed his whole family in like some type of Goldilocks.
What is this? This man over here smoking crack.
It's a live action of Brother Bear.
You said what, DA?
I was saying it's a live action of Brother Bear. But,
right.
No, but basically he encountered the bear when he was trying to find a path for the people, because he was taking the, soldiers back home, and then but they were being hunted by Native Americans.
Was this a period piece or was this like some
It's a
modern
period
shit?
piece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely some back in the day shit. I know that.
Yeah,
It's like back in the like when we're settling America, right?
yeah.
So, Da, so let's get back to so like I guess talk about like what got you into filmmaking and like and where you at in reference to what even you're trying to do like when it comes down to film. Not you don't have to name like specific projects, but just when it comes down to just filmmaking directly. You don't have to name like all your massive goals, but just as a filmmaker specifically, how did you like get to the place of just watching movies to wanting to make movies, and then like where are you at when it comes down to the type of movies you want to make and stuff like that?
So for me, actually, my family was as I came from a family of artists, basically. So I pretty much started out early. I was writing little short stories when I was younger, like in elementary, and then
For the purpose of filming or like a book or something?
I'm not no, just as a book. It was yeah, I was really into like detective stories. I created this character called Double O Darrow. It was pretty fun.
Nice.
Nice.
Um, but when, like I said, when I was in high school, once I became a sophomore, I was like, okay, I have 2 more years of high school. I need to figure out what I want to do. And I was like, that was the semester I was taking law, and I was like, okay, I really like law. I want to do this. But then I started acting a little bit. I got into this play, and then I started working on backstage productions at my school. And I was like,
what grade was this?
This is sophomore year, and then sophomore year and junior year. And then I was like, okay, junior year, I made the decision to actually stick to filmmaking, but I initially wanted to be an actor. I just wanted to be an actor. It was until my first year of my BA of my bachelor's degree at AI, the Art Institute of Phoenix, the filmmaking school, that I realized that I would want to actually create the film instead of act in the film. So that's pretty much how I got started. And then after going to that school, my eyes were open to how films were made and understanding them a lot more. And
that's where you got your bachelor's?
Yeah, I got my bachelor's at Art Institute of Phoenix.
Gotcha.
And then yeah, I've never, for a period of time, I think all new filmmakers go through it, where you have this period where you cannot watch any movie without critiquing it, no matter what.
For sure.
And so I wouldn't go back to watch any of my older films that I like, older movies that I love, because I didn't want to like, oh, this is the problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. I want to cherish the memory that I had with him.
That's why I don't watch Good Burger anymore. I was scarred.
Hey, you sleep. I watched Good Burger recently, bro. It's actually funnier now than it was to me as a kid. Because
I pulled that out of my ass. I haven't seen it in years, but
I'm telling you, bro, it's like because you understand more jokes. That and Little Rascals.
Brother Reed.
Little Rascals.
You have messed up my afro.
Hey, you're right. That was Sinbad's last movie.
That was it. That was his last role, man. Him in that fucking mailbox. They just had a rough time. The whole film.
Yeah. But yeah, no. But no, Good Burger though. It was funny to me. I don't know if I really paid attention to the story structure and stuff. But as far as like Kale being funny in that, I forgot how funny he was in that movie. Like he had me.
Kale?
Yeah, he had me rolling. Yeah,
go ahead, it's kind of weird when you think about
Little Rascals though. My bad.
Yeah, I was saying Little Rascals as well. I watched that recently, and yeah, it's fire. Like it was way funnier to me. Like some of the stuff they were saying, I didn't even understand. I heard them, But when I heard it this time, like I was like, wow, I didn't even realize they said that. Like they threw out a lot of jokes for the adult audience that's taking their kids to the movie type stuff. Like and I never caught it until I watched it.
Yeah. That's for sure. Like, especially not even just that, like motherfucking Looney Tunes back in the day, like Bugs
Yeah,
Bunny cartoons, nigga, there's
yeah,
a lot of adult humor in there, bro. Like them
absolutely.
shits was almost for adults. Like that shit's crazy.
As
That was like
kids,
actual like my bad, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was like actual like comedy, like Marx Brothers routines type shit
Right.
going on, but just like animated. So
And that's what I was
they
going.
took
That's
it a
what I
little
was
more
going to say.
serious.
As kids, we only pay attention to what we see. We're not even listening to the words
Right.
they're saying anyway. We
Right.
just see all the, hey, what's up, Doc, and the shooting and the dog, and that's we're sold on that. We don't care what else is happening. You know what I'm saying? So no, that's real.
As
But
long
go
as,
ahead, Da. I know we cut you off.
we're laughing, we're good.
Yeah, right.
No,
Right.
that's pretty
Oh,
much.
one second.
That's pretty much how I got into filmmaking there.
So what and what type of like films and stuff? I guess what's if you had to choose a genre and a style like a filmmaker, like what do you want to be? What would you want to be known for? Just say in Hollywood or in life, like.
Well, as I look at some of who the greats are, I feel like they're not limited to a specific genre. But if I had to limit myself,
It don't have to be a genre like comedy or horror, but I'm just saying like just a style of filmmaking in the sense of like, just say if you chose like action just for whatever, like an action style film, you just say like I want to be known for making like race car movies like Fast and Furious, like like fast cars or whatever, or I want to be known for making like superhero movies or biopics or you know what I'm saying, like just what kind of like category. It doesn't necessarily have to be, I'm just using those all as examples, but just like what what would you want your films to be known as, like when people see yours, like do you make great whatever, I don't know, I don't really know how to
I will honestly will want them just to be entertaining. Like if I can entertain the audience and take them out of whatever they might be going through and distract them for that hour, 30 minutes or 2 hours, 30 minutes. If I can distract them from the world and its problems,
right.
and keep them captivated, I think that alone is sufficient enough for me. Because honestly, when it comes to filmmaking, yeah, you want to tell stories about, you want to be informative and whatnot, but honestly, are you not really trying to entertain people?
So that's a good point. So I was going to ask you that. So are you? So you would consider John Q that's kind of more informative. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of more of awareness film, right? So
Right.
would you? So you saying like as opposed to that route, you would want to just go more. Just say, and I'm just not this style per se, but just say like the Fast and Furious. That's like strictly entertainment, or like maybe even like a 007 or John Wick or something like that, where it's just kind of entertainment.
I would say I will if I had to pick a director, like I want it to be like. If you think about Steven Spielberg, a lot of people like his movies because they're so bizarre. They were basically ahead of their time, if you want to say. And so I would want to do something like that, where it's entertaining, but he also touched on family issues as well in all his movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Even like Jurassic Park and all that type of stuff.
Right.
So it's
Word.
I feel that. So do you want to just one last question? Do you want to do something to the degree of like a Jurassic Park, Transformers, like have to deal with some type of like big, like people acting with big,
No.
creatures type thing?
I think with the Redlands, the movie, the feature we're working on, it's more of a Star Wars universe. Because I felt like if you think about it, what franchise does Star Wars have to compete with? Nothing.
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
And it's sad the way that Star Wars ended currently. So it's like it wasn't like it was a bad ending. It just wasn't up to par. But now, where do all those fans go? Where do they look to? They just gonna keep rewatching all the films? No, they need something else to fill that hole.
That's real.
That sounded wrong, but yeah.
Yeah. Sounded really wrong, man.
Sounded a little force-ish, but we'll let it slide. Gotcha. So I'll say mine's real quick. Really what got me into filmmaking, man, I've always been interested in dealing with, just say, cameras of some sort. Like even growing up in church, I used to, as a kid, I was probably 9, 10 years old working with the, what they call the audio visual ministry. Basically, work with the audio stuff, the microphone stuff, but the cameras and the switchboards and stuff like that. I learned all that stuff at a young age. And then even going from there, I used to make just YouTube videos, inspirational videos, just right from the camera on my computer, and learn how to chop it up in, I think it was Windows Movie Maker or whatever it was called.
I remember that.
Yeah. So I used to use that. And then I just kept doing just different things that always involved me. Like even when I was in the Army, I would be doing something I used to call hump day tips. This is before I started doing the dances or whatever. I would have 2, 3, 4 minute videos of almost a full act out of me doing something or whatever. And it was a whole comedy thing. And so what brought me to film school was I was I wanna go deeper into that once I get out of the Army, outside of stand up, obviously, but I want to get deeper into filmmaking because this is something I've always done, but I just never done it with professional equipment. I don't know professional terminology. You know what I'm saying? I don't know whatever.
Right.
So
yeah,
I've never written a script at that time because anytime I ever did something, it was always just me. I wasn't really dealing with a lot of people. So I would just come up with the whatever dialogue or whatever in my head, and I would just act it out. I'm talking to myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm playing different characters. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So I know what I'm saying. So it's kind of so I kind of just wanted to get just more of an official grasp on what filmmaking is all about. And so that's how I got into going to the school. And then in reference to the type of films that I'm actually interested in making, I definitely have different things that I want to make that I'm writing myself. And I like the style of, no matter what genre it falls in, I like to use some form of comedy to address something, that happens in real life. So of course, with my short film, Sensitive Senses, Chris Golden was actually in that one. He looked slightly.
Yeah, I was gonna point that out later, but yeah.
Yeah, he was the blind guy. Yeah, for sure. But he.
yeah. My hair is a little bit shorter now, a little more under control.
Well, it's okay. Nobody who's probably watching this has probably seen it anyway, so it's okay. So
damn, what type of attitude is that, bro?
Nah.
You're supposed to be the man. You're supposed to.
I'm not.
Anybody you promote this podcast to, they should have already seen your film. Fuck that.
No, that's
true. If you
true.
haven't seen this film, you could go fuck yourself.
No, that's true.
And tune in for the next episode of the podcast.
That's true. But it actually did pretty good on YouTube because I know it had, if not 1,000 views, it had almost 1,000. I think it's at 900 and it's at 979 right now.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's actually pretty good. That's the most views I've ever got.
You gonna pop your collar?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, that's how I was able to afford this. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
That's how I got this drip. You feel me?
Boy.
The royalties coming
His
in,
thumbs
baby.
is way too close together for any type of drip one.
Your thumbs touching.
Yeah, boy, this why I got this.
You gotta hold up with just one. Man.
Right, you gotta do one. So they don't know the difference.
So they don't know.
Trick 'em.
But like I said, even with that film, like I said, I used comedy, but I was addressing not only how overly sensitive today's society is, but also not trying to point the finger at everybody else and make yourself the victim, because there's other people who got their own issues as well. You know what I'm saying? But I used it in a comedic way. I never try to bring people down too much when it comes out to filmmaking. But ultimately, I do want to make several biopics. I have certain celebrities or whatever, or radio personalities, if you will, whatever, whose stories I've kind of followed, not documenting it, but just I watch them or listen to them or whatever like that. And I would love to, like, when their career is all said and done, be able to, like, replay they life on film. So those are like my two biggest things when it comes down to me making films. Is I don't have like, it's not, I don't want to make like a bunch of biopics. It's probably maybe like 6 or 7 people, but
that's a bunch. But
that is a bunch. After I said it, I was like, that's kind of a lot.
I have a question. Speaking of biopics,
Yes, sir.
how or what do you think is going to? How do you think the industry is going to change once, I guess, all the people we grew up watching, like Denzel Washington,
Die from coronavirus? That's a good question. I'm sorry.
I was supposed to be the guy from coronavirus, but once they're no longer in the picture, how's the industry going to change? Because
I mean, I think it'll be just like the way it always is, man. There'll just be new stars. There'll be new people that you look at that are the new Denzel.
You got the Michael B. Jordans and stuff coming up. I mean, you got
up and coming people.
So who's Michael B. Jordan replacing? If
I mean, listen, as far as up and coming, like people that are on Denzel caliber, I think it took Denzel a while to get to that caliber. Like, I've seen some of his very, very earliest films. Like, he was like a school teacher, some gang violence lessons. Yeah, that wasn't that great to me, and he wasn't that great in that. So it's just, you gotta give people the time to become the next Denzel. As far as who's on that trajectory, on that path, I don't see anybody. But who knows? I could be the next guy, motherfuckers.
As of right now, today, Michael B. Jordan is definitely next in line to be whatever version of a movie star you want to compare him to, because he's done some pretty iconic roles. Because, like, not only, of course, he really kind of popped off with Fruitvale, like, as far as like getting recognition, but then not only being able to do like the Black Panthers, whatever, but even being Creed and being a part of the Rocky franchise, like, that brought him a whole new wave of celebrity that he wouldn't have gotten with just Fruitvale.
Hey, look, man. Hey, look, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. Michael B. Jordan is some shit, man. I never thought he was good. I've never seen a film where he blew my mind.
And I'm not
in good film.
But listen to me. I'm not trying to. But listen, I'm not trying to argue the fact that I think he's the best actor or not. I'm saying in Hollywood
who would argue that and when?
In Hollywood right now, as far as the next person that's coming up right now in the rankings, you can't name another young Black male star, movie star, that's bigger than Michael B. Jordan right now.
This is the thing.
What's up?
All right.
No, go ahead.
A big part of it is, like, let's keep it real. A big part of what makes people big in the industry a lot of times is that, just like with Denzel, a lot of women want to fuck Michael B. Jordan. Okay, a lot of women.
Yeah, all right? That's part of being a star.
They go to the movie and think of this from a woman's perspective too. It's just like they go to the movie like, he is fine. Every scene, it doesn't matter what he says or does. They're good to go, right? Then, you know what I'm saying? You have just the same thing with women. Like, my personal opinion is that Margot Robbie, not that great of a fucking actor, to be honest. She gets a big pass because she's British and she always plays roles where she's not British and does this fake ass Brooklyn accent, and people think she's a fucking great actress because of it. No, a lot of dudes want to bang Margot Robbie. A lot of dudes.
That's Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
Yeah, Harley Quinn. She's not a great actor either, but she's gotten a lot of roles because of that. Is a big factor, man. People.
But this is what I'm saying.
Want to see movies.
But hold on, let me say this real quick, DA, before you go. But what I'm saying is this: can you name a bigger Black young star than Michael B. Jordan right now in Hollywood? And I'm talking about in his range. Like I said, like, as far there are bigger Black stars right now. But those are the people.
The guy from Get Out is coming up, but he's another British fucking.
But no, but that's what I'm saying. You had to call him the guy from Get Out, which means what? Like that he's known from Get Out, but he hasn't done a main role since then. He started Queen and Slim, but nobody really liked that.
I don't think I'm Black enough to know his name.
But
to be honest.
he did, and then like even after Get Out, he had a
He had
side
what,
role.
Us?
He had a side
No,
role in
not
Black.
Us. I'm sorry. The fucking Queen and
Nigga,
Slim shit.
nigga, if you were listening, I just said that he did Queen and Slim, but nobody
Right.
really liked it, and he also did a side role in Black Panther. But what I'm saying
Bro,
is,
Queen and
these
Slim
are-
was one of the most contrived movies I've ever seen in my life. But
This
go
is-
ahead, continue your point. I'm sorry.
this is the point I'm making. Daniel Kaluuya, who you're referring to, he right now his biggest movie is still Get Out. That's his biggest film. Nothing wrong with it.
Right.
He has,
But he's not on the upper.
Chris, let me talk.
Oh, wait, no, that's
What I'm saying is, but as of right now, like that's it. Fruitvale Station popped Michael B. Jordan. What's the movie he did? After Fruitvale?
Fantastic Four. Yeah, that was a great one.
Fantastic Four.
Oh, what? You didn't love Fantastic Four? They had they apparently were adopted. That's awesome.
He had 2 Creeds, and he had Black Panther.
Oh my God, this guy's a fucking fool.
And he even had Just Mercy. But either way, the Creeds and stuff like that, like them taking off his shirt and you glitching him up and you put him in the box movie, and you taking it from the Rocky story. And I mean, in my opinion, I thought he did a very good job of both Creed. Killmonger, I didn't like him that much as Killmonger, but I thought he did good in Fruitvale Station too. But what I'm saying is those characters put him in movie star roles. You feel what I'm saying? Like that put him in a position when people see him, every guy want to be him, every woman want him. That's what a movie star is. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter what we feel like got him there or not. If he had the attributes, whether it was his muscles, looks, or whatever the case may be, if he had the attributes to get him there, because he's not the only good-looking Black young male actor right now, but he's the biggest star. You feel what I'm saying? There's other people who I hear women talk about more than Michael B. Jordan, but they're not big stars right now. When it comes down to Hollywood, right, like he's done some major roles that has allowed him to, you know what I'm saying, to be able to be.
No, I agree with you, man. You know, I just like to be the devil's advocate, just to, create ball breaking and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just talking shit. I don't hate the guy.
Look, speaking of Fantastic Four, let's just make this clear.
Okay.
20th Century Fox struggled with pretty much almost all of their superhero movies, besides Deadpool and the original X-Men.
What else did they make?
They made the new X-Men.
Yeah, that one everyone hated.
Dark Phoenix was stupid.
Yeah, it was bad, man. Bad.
And then they made Fantastic Four. I mean, I personally kind of like the original Fantastic Four, but the new one where there's 3 white people and random Michael B. Jordan in this family.
And he turns to a rock.
Wait, no, he turns to the Human Torch. But
the Human Torch.
Yeah, he's the torch guy.
But it was still weird. It was.
Michael B. Jordan.
Everything's fine. Nah, my girl's back. The dogs just do this anytime anyone enters the house. One second, I'm gonna mute.
So they made the Fantastic Four, all the X-Men, and that's pretty much it, as far as I know.
And you saying that they failed with all those?
They failed with pretty much all of those. Look at this guy. They pretty much failed with all of those besides Deadpool and the original X-Men.
Oh, wow. Didn't they make more than one Deadpool?
Yeah, no, they didn't.
I'm saying was both or 3 or however many they made, were they all good?
I mean, number 2 wasn't as funny as number 1, as the original Deadpool, but I mean, it still was funny. It was still entertaining.
It's hard to do.
It sounds like you haven't seen Deadpool or the original X-Men.
I've seen a X-Men.
You've never seen the original X-Men?
I've seen a X-Men. I don't know if it was the original or not. Wasn't Halle Berry in it?
Yeah, that's the original.
That's Storm.
Yeah, that's the one I've seen.
That one was great.
I realize, am I saying X-Men or X-Men?
You're saying X-Men.
To me, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's all the same. X-Men, X-Man. whatever. I
All
get
right.
it.
Hey, but before we wrap up the podcast, I wanted to ask y'all, like, what directors that are out right now that y'all really fucking with, like, hard? Like, what do you like our favorite directors making movies right now?
Off top, you got Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
Off top.
I disagree, but okay.
Whoa. Now,
Before y'all debate Christopher Nolan, go ahead and finish your list.
damn. Hold on. I'm traumatized a little bit. Traumatized a little bit. Just let me.
You're reeling. I understand.
Huh?
I said you're reeling off of that. I understand.
You still gotta fuck with Quentin Tarantino. Then I never knew his name, but the guy who did Whiplash.
Oh yes, I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Whiplash was phenomenal.
Oh my God, one of my favorite endings ever too. You've seen Whiplash, right, Rudy? Didn't we watch that? Or you've seen that movie, right?
Rudy, you're disappointing me.
Come on, man. You haven't seen Whiplash?
Who's in it?
It's that drummer film. It's got J.K. Simmons in it.
Yeah.
About the kid in college, and he's in music school, and he's a drummer.
Who's J.K. Simmons?
Have you seen farmers? Have you seen any farmers insurance commercials?
The bald guy.
The old bald
remember,
guy.
I want pictures of Spider-Man.
The old bald guy. Right. That is J.K. Simmons. I remember that. Okay.
Jenna Jameson, yeah.
But what about him? He's in Whiplash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I still think you still have to fuck with all the greats. Like Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese. So yeah.
Word.
So that would be mine.
All right.
And let me ask you this real quick. Do y'all? I think I may have asked both of y'all this offline before. Do y'all think Tarantino's like low key racist?
You asked me this.
And for the viewers out there,
I have an answer.
But let me give some context for the people watching this. The reason why I asked this question is because I feel like all the Tarantino movies he writes, he's the writer of these scripts, okay? And every last one of these scripts always has somebody using the word nigga. Now, you do have cases where you got Samuel L. Jackson flying them off, but I mean, that's Samuel L. Jackson. Even if niggas in the script, he could improvise even more niggas past that.
Most
This is about the dead nigger storage, isn't it?
But Tarantino also almost always has some white male in his movie using the word nigga, and 90% of the time is his ass.
Nah,
so
talking about dead nigger storage.
I'm talking about all of it. Django, all of it. Okay.
He wasn't in Django.
Yes, he was. He was one of the people who, when Django was captured and he was with the people in the cage, the Australians or whatever it was, he was one of them.
Oh. I think the most important point
I didn't know that.
is, do they write it as nigga or nigger?
Hey, listen.
On the subtitles, it says nigger.
It's definitely the Urs.
I'm just trying to figure out why is Tarantino writing it so much. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's one thing to have it like a movie or two, but like he only got like 10 movies. I think you can count less numbers of movies that don't have the word nigga in it than do. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, is it really a bad thing?
Is it a good thing? That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying him saying the M word. Is it a bad thing?
Hey, come on, man. In this podcast, we done. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. Okay. All right. So let me ask you a question, Chris. So as far as direct, you still had something about Tarantino, Chris?
Well, you asked the question. I wanted to answer.
Go for it.
You asked. All right. I think that Tarantino, if you look at his backstory and shit, right? He is the type of guy, and he'll admit this. Most of his knowledge of black culture and black people comes from black exploitation films that he watched coming up, right? Pimps, hoes, gangsters, criminals. He doesn't know black people. Like, he didn't grow up with any black people. You could tell just by the way he talks and acts. He was that weird guy that worked in the video store. The weird guy at the video store doesn't have any black friends, okay? He doesn't know black people. He wrote these characters based on those movies, like fucking Jules' character in Pulp Fiction and shit like that, right? But what he also did was he had characters where he wanted to give his honest perception of how white people talk about black people or stay when black people are not around. Like the scene in Pulp Fiction when he's buying drugs. He's like, do I look like a nigger to you? Like, are we in Compton right now? And all that other shit, right? He's being honest. And in that time, especially in the 90s, that's how motherfuckers were definitely talking about black people when they're not around. And some of them, if they're in a power position, like the dude that needed his garage, and you have a fucking dead dude in my garage, they'll fire that shit off right to your fucking face.
Quick pause.
So,
but to add on to your point, the time period in which Django occurred, they also talk like that as well. This is my question.
And he went back to that time.
Listen, this is my question. So why the fuck is he continuously writing scripts that require white people to show how they talk about black? That's all I'm saying.
But I'm saying it's
one thing. It's one thing if he was just directing these movies. He is writing and
it's
directing.
not like he's ever put it out of. It was like it's never been out of a random place. It's never been in a random place. It's always been used properly and proper tone. It's not like he's been disrespectful.
Yeah, but that's just like saying, like, if I put a rape scene in all 10 of my movies, but I'm like, yeah, but it's never out of context. Like, that shit always makes sense why it's there. People gonna be like, yo, why is somebody always getting raped in this nigga movies? Like, why is that a thing?
For the record, the movie that you still haven't seen yet, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, doesn't have any of that shit. In fact, I don't even think there's any black people in that movie at all, actually.
Exactly.
I think he took it all the way back to the golden age of the film. Like, no.
That's why niggas not used. That's why niggas not used. It'll be out of context in that movie. That's it. Anyways, so to answer your question, Chris, as far as directors who I rock with, I don't know like that. Honestly, I'm really, now that I'm in film school like last year, so I've been kind of like trying to pay more attention to directors. Never have growing up. I just used to watch a movie, didn't even look at the credits. But I always tell people that Tyler Perry was definitely one of the first directors I always paid attention to because his name was the first time my eye was caught by a director because I seen the written by director and all that stuff above his name. And so I always thought that was interesting. I didn't look at him at that time and like, oh man, he has good angles and good lighting. I wasn't into all that. I just happened to just notice that one particular thing. But of course, you know, I watch black films, so like Tim's Story and the
you say it like you don't watch black films.
The Blunt.
I'm kind
it doesn't hit good.
Who, me?
I agree.
I said you say it like
I don't know what
you
happened.
watch black films.
Well, I'm saying in the sense of like directors, because I was just getting ready to just list off a bunch of black directors, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I was definitely not about to say Christopher Nolan or Spielberg, even though I like their movies. But I can't say that I paid that much attention. I mean, Spielberg, of course. I mean, I think Spielberg's kind of GOAT status, or at least God status in my mind. You know what I'm saying? I think.
Well, I'm talking about like right now. I meant like lately.
I'm answering that. I'm saying
black directors lately. Okay, I'm following you.
What I'm saying, like as of right now, like I don't even now. I'm just now getting into directors. So like
watching a lot of bootleg films.
Yeah.
Dutch 3 on DVD.
Yeah, your mom sells them. She makes extra copies and stuff on Craigslist.
That was a good mama joke right there. Accurate.
But yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, but as far I don't know. Like I would have to have more time under my belt paying attention to directors because, like I said, I just kind of just got into that type of stuff. So like I know who's directed different things, different movies that I like, but I can't say that one director is like my person I'm trying to like model after.
Right.
But I will, like I said, but in reference to Steven Spielberg himself, I do think he's kind of like, in my opinion, I think he's kind of like, if not the best, definitely one of the best. Like he definitely would be top 2 in my book in reference to just filmmaking altogether.
So long and short is you currently not fucking with anyone.
Yeah.
What?
You currently
well,
not
currently.
Y'all said
you talking about the GOAT.
What's happening here? Somebody say it.
We said currently. His question was currently who you fucking with, and then you said oh, as far as Steven Spielberg, and then I said, currently you're not fucking with anyone.
Oh,
Basically.
well, yeah. I mean, that's for sure. No, that's definitely what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. I just started paying them any attention to fuck with anybody, so I don't know as of yet. I don't know.
It's okay.
Okay.
I haven't even seen Whiplash. Give me a break.
Terrible, man. Terrible, bro. Get on it, man. Please.
I would say, real fast before you start your list.
Yeah.
I can't remember his. I can remember his name, but I can't pronounce it. But the guy who directed The Revenant, he is also a good one to fuck with. He did Birdman as well.
Oh,
Man.
I know who you're talking about. He has that complicated name.
Rick,
I didn't know.
What? His first name is Rick.
Rick?
Never mind.
What?
Never mind.
No. Have you seen Birdman, Rudy?
No, he hasn't seen Whiplash.
You know I haven't seen Birdman. We've had this conversation on the phone before. I've been trying to find it.
And then also, bro. All right, so okay. At the end of the podcast, I think that we should each assign a movie that the other two have to watch, right? Like we all just leave a movie, and then when we come back, we've all seen each other's movies that were suggested. Okay.
All right.
And I'm still thinking of what movie I'm gonna suggest, but god damn it, Rudy. what have you seen? All right. So me personally, lately, I agree. Thank you. I agree with the Tarantino assessment. I still see a lot of quality in his film. I love The Hateful Eight. A lot of people thought it was too slow, didn't like the pacing. I loved every minute of that movie. Right. I really enjoyed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. To me, he's still knocking it out of the park.
The ending was phenomenal.
To L.A.?
No, I'm saying
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Or Hateful Eight?
No, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Great, yeah. I don't want to spoil anything, but amazing ending.
I didn't see it.
Also, yeah, me neither. I definitely thought I didn't know what they were building up to, but I didn't know it was gonna be that. That was badass. But anyways, he's killing it right now. To me, the next Tarantino, like the next guys that are really killing, that are just coming every fucking year and killing it at the film festivals. Toronto Film Festival just killing it, right? Mm-hmm. Are the Safdie brothers, bro. I'm telling you, I keep telling fucking Rudy about this. The Safdies are fucking killing shit right now. And just A20, the Safdie brothers, they're killing shit. Yo, just A24 studios in general just always have good ass films. They've been doing, they just, I don't know what it is about A24. Just look up A24 studios. Watch literally any film they produce, and it's just always fire. And they've done all the Safdie brothers films, and I've seen every Safdie brothers film now. I went through their catalog. I even watched like some old ass fucking shit they filmed on an iPhone. Everything? Yeah, co-direct everything. They're brothers. They co-direct. They have a couple of solo projects, but mainly it's always both of them directing. And the movie they've been. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, do you feel like, because what I've noticed a lot lately is that there are a lot of directing duos that have been coming out and just basically killing the game. I mean, the ones who did the Endgame, Marvel's Endgame, they were brothers.
I feel like that almost had to be more than one person. That'd be a lot to do by yourself.
Yeah, that was a lot. There was a lot of moving parts to that fucking movie, man.
But that's still, it's. I feel like a lot of duos are coming out and basically killing the game.
Yeah, but I mean, the Safdies, they've been their entire dream, their entire goal was to make. Hold on, one second. I'm sorry, I have to switch these out.
The Safdies. Hold on one second. Hey, what time are we at right now, dear?
My bad.
How long have we been going? I don't know. But
they don't show a time, like a time ticking or nothing.
No, but if we started at 12, it's an hour 30 minutes. So.
Well, no. We started at because we signed on after 12, and then by the time we got everything started, we're like right at an hour right now. Because we started around 12:30, but I didn't remember the exact time. It was somewhere like late 20 something, right at 12:30, something like that. And I'm talking about from the time we actually started the podcast, not the time we started before as well.
All right. So I'm back. I apologize.
The Safdie
brothers. But the Safdie brothers, their dream, the goal, the movie they were working on for over 10 years was Uncut Gems, which just came out and totally got Oscar snubbed, which was a great fucking film. You've seen Uncut Gems yet, Derek? Because I know me and Rudy have seen that.
I have not. I wanted to go buy it, but then the quarantine happened.
Yes. I've seen some that you haven't.
Got one, coach. Right, you got one, coach.
hey, Daryl, I've only seen it because Chris made me watch it.
Yeah, like legit.
Look it. I was trying to go to Best Buy and buy it. It had just came out, and then next thing you know, all the pandemic. Then they were out of stock, and I'm like, damn.
The film it's shot beautifully. It's a great film. They had been working on that film. That was like their baby. They were trying to do that, but they literally couldn't get Adam Sandler. Like they wanted him for the role, and like they were nobodies for like 10 years until they made the movie Good Time, which I'm still trying to get you to watch, Rudy. It's on Netflix. Have you seen Good Time, Daryl?
No.
Okay, that's definitely
I don't really watch movies on Netflix, so I can't say that.
That's cool. It's not a Netflix film. It happens to be available on Netflix right now. But
no, I'm saying like I typically just try to buy all the movies.
Oh, lit. That's what's up. Like to support that's what's up. That's good. But yeah, Good Time was a phenomenal film. They also made a film called Heaven Knows What, which is it's a really hard to watch film. It's one of the most depressing films I've ever seen. But it was also a great fucking film. Like the performances they get out of these actors, and they use a lot of first-time actors. And what they'll do is they'll cast them in a role that they're basically already playing in real life. Like they'll cast a guy at a pawn shop that already worked in that pawn shop, or they'll get junkies that are really on the street, like they live that life, and just cast them in that role. And then they don't even like a lot with their scripts are very open-ended. They're just like, all right, this is the scenario.
Right.
See this person, action. And they'll just keep doing that until they're just like, they are that person. And then it's like, they're that person on camera. Their technique for filmmaking is very, very different from what I've seen from a lot of like other behind the scenes shit that I've been watching. So I'm really intrigued on what they got, working for their next film and what they got going on. They're definitely the Safdie brothers. Very, very, very dope right now. I think they're going to be big. And also, I think that Eric C. in France is another really good director. He did Gravity. He also did Children of Men. And he also directed Prisoner of Azkaban, which is actually my favorite Harry Potter film. And that film is shot really beautifully. There's a lot of really cool shots that like go through glass and like all these soaring shots over the castle. Like if you pay attention, that's like the best shot Harry Potter film. I like Eric C. in France. He's really good.
Harry Potter, I felt like after Harry Potter became a teenager, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, Goblet of Fire is when it started to go downhill for me. Yeah, definitely.
I only seen the first one, and I'd seen that with some nerdy friend I was hanging with at the time back when it came out in theater.
Great. I thought the first one.
I don't even remember what it was about, but I just wanted to have credit for seeing a Harry Potter movie.
It was a
when the very last film came out in 3D, mind you, the last film, part 2 of number 7, right? When that came out, I happened to be dating this super nerdy chick, but she was bad. Her body was crazy, dog. And she was super nerdy. Like we went to this Otakon anime convention together. She was dressed up like some fucking character. We went to the Harry Potter shit. She was dressed up like some Slytherin student, and everybody was dressed up, bro. It was like this big event because it's the last Harry Potter movie, bro. And it's just like everyone was geeking out. So we watched all the films leading up to that before we went to go see the shit. So I pretty much had no choice but to watch these movies.
Right,
I really wasn't even into Harry Potter like that, to be honest. That was never my thing. I like the books. The books were dope, but I just
never read.
I never like it when I really like a book turn it into a movie. Because then the characters never look like how I pictured them in my head. Cut shit out. And it just it wasn't for me.
All right, guys. Before we wrap things up, man, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and assign movies that we want each other, I guess, to watch. So, Chris, how you want to do it? You want like me to give like both of y'all one, and you give both of us one. Like so each person
basically everybody's gonna say a movie.
Oh, everybody just give one movie and then you watch it.
One movie, and that's the list, and then we all watch them. Even if you've seen it before, just watch it, and then when we get back, we'll discuss all the films. Yeah. And then next week we'll actually bring on another guest. I'll make sure that they get both of the films as well.
so that we can give them a little conversation, but then they'll also be caught up on whatever films we're watching as well. Feel me?
Word.
So Chris, you already got yours?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna just say Good Time.
Good Time?
Good Time.
Good
Let
Time.
me write it down.
It's available on Netflix, easily accessible for everybody, and it's a
Let me ask you a question.
And,
Who is there a director or actor in it so I can definitely know that this is it when I see it?
The Safdie brothers are the directors, so you'll know.
He wasn't listening.
And also Robert Pattinson from Twilight is in the film, and he gives an excellent performance as this dude from Queens. So yeah,
I didn't see Twilight.
What was that movie that he was just in?
He was just in The Lighthouse. That movie's on Amazon Prime right now, which I haven't watched that yet, but I do plan to watch it.
We should all watch
Him and Willem Dafoe, yeah.
I'm gonna suggest Lighthouse.
Lighthouse?
Oh, all right, lit. Bet. I was gonna
never mind. It's cool.
I heard
Lighthouse is on Amazon Prime, bro.
Huh?
No. I was gonna ask were these movies similar to each other? Was Lighthouse and Good Time similar to each other?
No.
From what I know, hell no.
Okay.
Hell no. Lighthouse doesn't seem like it's similar to anything. I'm gonna see what's up. All
right. And DA, who's in Lighthouse or directed whatever, so I can definitely know that. Who's the actor you said?
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
And what's
Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, the Green Goblin.
I also want to apologize, guys. Next podcast, I'm gonna work on not talking as much. I just woke up. I have all
no. You
talking a lot.
No, you wasn't. You good. No, you straight. All right. So my movie, I'm going to suggest Rockadoodle, since neither one of you have seen it.
How the fuck are we gonna find that?
Listen to me. I got you. It's on one of these streaming services. It's on something that we can get access to some type of way. I just have to look up which one I watched it on, but I'll look it up and I'll let you know. But I want y'all to see it. It's
I'm about to say I'm gonna have to call Mom Dukes for that one.
You got the tape,
Right.
Dope. Hey. Well, this has been good, man. This has been fun. This has been very informational. I think this was the first great installment, if you will, to the Dumbass Film Students.
And cut. That's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you watching this episode of Dumbass Film Students, a No Life Boys production. We are here each and every Thursday on YouTube, so please like, comment, subscribe, and most of all, share this motherfucker. Next week, we'll be discussing our 3 movies of the week, which are Lighthouse, Rockadoodle, and Good Time. We'll also be joined by the talented Brooklyn Miller, all the way from the New York Film Academy, South Beach in Miami, Florida. We hope you join us each and every week, but if you don't, we'll still be here talking about film with our dumb asses. Bye!